So this morning I'm going to be showing you about one problem that we've been having with the Coxreels, where the pinion gear down in there is falling out of sync with the teeth in the reel. And there can be two causes for this problem. The first one is either during shipment or when the unit's in the back of your truck or van, whatever you got, something is hitting or butting up against this, causing the fluid path and the axle to shift on the pillow block bearings. That's the easier fix of the two problems, and you're going to know if you have this problem because if you look down on it, you shouldn't see any of these bushings popping out on either side. I mean, a little bit is fine, but when you have more than what you see there, you have a problem, especially when it's on this side of the pillow block bearing, because that tells me, like I said, that there was a force that came and hit it, pushing it that way, therefore moving it away from the pinion gear down there. So that's the easy problem to fix. The other one, which takes a little bit more work, is the pinion gear down there. You can kind of see it. It is loose on the motor drive shaft. And what's happening is it's backing away from the actual teeth on the reel, causing the problem that you've been experiencing, which is the reel is not spinning when you are hitting the button on the electric reel. So like I previously said, there are two checks to figure out which problem you have. If your reel has been banged and you can see the brass bushings on either side of that pillow block bearing, the quick solution for that is, depending on which way the reel was actually hit, likely it was hit that way, you're going to use a dead blow mallet, and you're going to find the side in which you need to hit, and you're going to hit it right there. Oh, didn't square it up. And that's going to push everything back in sync. Now, normally these are very tightly secured in there, but like I said, when it's a big force pushing it, that's what's causing the problem. So once you get things realigned, you should be fine, I would expect, for the future, or at least until one of your technicians happens to bang something into it again. The second problem, which I mentioned, is the pinion gear is loose on the motor drive shaft. That one takes a little bit more work, so the rest of the video is going to be showing you how to fix that problem. So your first step when you have determined that the pinion gear is loose on the drive shaft, is first thing you need to do is you need to take off all of this plumbing. So depending on what unit you have, you're gonna have a line going into your regulator here, and you have a line going into your brass manifold. Next, you're gonna have to take off all the electrical. Now, before you do that, it is highly recommended that you take a picture so you know exactly where everything's going. You do have 3 posts here on the solenoid that have connections. You have a ground, which is right here, and then the electrical bus bar, which is down there. Once you have all of that electrical off, I find it's best, while it's a little bit more work, it's gonna make the process a lot easier and keep you sane. You need to take the reel off of the frame of the sprayer. So there are 4 bolts in the corner, a couple inches in. You have 1, you got 2, which is tucked back in there, 3 and 4. And I'll just show you the back side here. You can see right back in there, that's where the bolts are that hold the reel down to the pedestal. So you can see here I have the reel off of the frame of the sprayer. Just a small little correction. You actually don't need to take the connections off of here. You just need to take the connections from the jumper cable going from the solenoid to that electrical bus bar I showed you, as well as the switch connections which go to the bus bar and the pump, which is located underneath the reel. But once you have the reel off, your first step is going to be, there are 4 bolts here that hold the motor assembly onto the frame of the sprayer, which has that pinion gear on it. So first step is you're going to take off those 4 bolts. To take off those 4 bolts, I'm using a 1/2-inch wrench and a 1/2-inch socket. I have conveniently tilted the reel up on the side just so that way I can get access to the nylon nuts that are back there. So yeah, 1/2 inch. So once you have the 4 bolts that are holding the motor assembly with the pinion gear to the frame of the reel, you need to check the pinion gear right here. Now, there was nothing wrong with this reel to begin with, so I have backed off these set screws to show you what the slide typically looks like. So, there we go. Once I have it here, it will slide in and out, coming out of contact with the teeth on the drum or the wheel. So to fix that, you are going to set the pinion gear on the drive shaft about 1/4 of an inch, leaving a 1/4 inch lip for yourself. We find that that is the best measurement to take, so that way it matches up with the teeth on the reel. Once you've set that, you are going to use, it's an 8/32 Allen key, and you are going to take the set screws. I would be using blue Loctite to hold everything in place, and you're going to tighten everything down. So once you have the pinion gear tight to the motor drive shaft, you're just going to do everything in reverse. So you're going to mount the motor back onto the reel frame, which you have your make sure you obviously save your nuts and bolts here. If you remember from earlier in the video, the bolt head is facing out and the nylon nuts are on the underside of the frame of the sprayer. Just one small note when you are putting the electric motor back onto the frame of the reel is that these holes are elongated, so that way there's a little bit of play in order for you to find that perfect connection between the gear and the teeth. So just know that I typically pick the middle, see how the pinion gear lines up to the teeth, and then whatever adjustments I need to make, I have that little play in there. So maybe do it as a short or a loose fit to begin with, and then once you find that perfect connection, tighten everything up and proceed to putting the reel back onto the sprayer. Now, once you have the reel back on the sprayer, obviously you need to make all your necessary connections back up, so hopefully you took a picture. If you don't have a picture of where all the plumbing goes, as well as the electrical, you can always give us a call or email us. It's 1-800-367-4015, or you can email us at info@systemsenvironmental.com, and we can provide any diagrams that you need in order to put the reel back onto the pedestal and make sure everything's all plumbed up correctly. But once you have it on there, don't forget to tighten down your 4 bolts that hold the reel to the pedestal, and you're back in business. I really appreciate you guys watching the video. I hope this was the fix to your reel problems. Like I said a little bit earlier, if you ever need to get in contact with us, it's systemsenvironmental.com or 1-800-367-4015, and you can always email us as well. It's info@systemsenvironmental.com. Thanks a lot.